Cleetus McFarland YouTube channel.
What the hell? Those some bald eagles I hear outside? Oh, dang. If it isn't the bald eagle himself. Brother. Dang, Leroy in the shop, baby. With a flat tire. Hey man, what are you doing?
I'll see how it feels.
Race car life?
Yeah. This thing's pretty beat, man.
Whoa!
Crooked, it like pulls one way, your horn button blown out.
Well, you got a flat tire. Yeah, my horn button blew out the other day.
Yeah, what did you do?
I don't know, dude, but it's time to clean this thing up, get it 100% for World Cup. What's going on, guys? Today we are in the shop talking about our boy Leroy. We don't have a lot of time to make big changes, but what we're gonna do is make big changes because that's just how things always end up around here. So, Leroy's behind us on the rack. Things we are planning on doing is ditching as much weight off the car as possible. I know it sounds crazy because people think Leroy weighs 1,400 pounds. Well, the fact of the matter is he weighs 3,000 pounds with me in him, which is more than he needs to weigh because the guys in our class are 2,600, 2,700 pounds competing in the same class as us under the same set of rules. Granted, there's lighter cars even in our class, but they have more strict rules. So when it comes to weight, we don't have a weight restriction for the World Cup Wild Street class that we are in, so we can ditch as much weight as possible. The way we're going to do that is taking the passenger seat out. We're going to be switching over to an electric water pump, getting rid of our heavy OEM water pump. We're going to put a smaller radiator on it, reduce the amount of water that's in Leroy. It's so cold when we run up there anyways, we shouldn't really have to worry about the car getting hot. Just anywhere we can take weight out, passenger seat, interior, things like that, we're going to start ditching weight. And the biggest change of all is going to be in this box. So aside from the weight, we are making a clutch change, and you guys know that we've ran monster clutches forever from the start. We don't have a single bad thing to say about monster clutches. We have loved having their clutch program in Leroy. It's been amazing. I mean, we were the first GM 6-shift car to ever run a 7-second pass, and that was with a monster clutch, a monster LT1RR triple disc. So amazing clutch. But our field of 6-shift cars that we race with has outran us, and all of the top dogs have what's called a slipper clutch. The clutch we have in here is a traditional clutch. If you let the pedal out, the clutch engages. I mean, if you snap that sucker out, it's gonna snap the tires right loose. So what's in this box is a slipper clutch, and with that, I mean, I can basically dump off the pedal, and depending on the settings and weights that we set up on the clutch itself, the clutch makes a smooth transition to where it's fully engaged. So instead of it all being in my leg, all under control from my leg snapping out on the clutch, this clutch we control with the weights. We set it up and it'll go wum bum 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 wah, and make them, well, is that good enough? Is that a wum bum 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 wah? Sound right? Yeah, you heard the noises. So it's gonna slip into its engagement rather than relying on my leg for consistency. This clutch controls itself. So really interesting. We're excited to open it up. We are gonna be taking the monster out. We love our monster clutch company, guys. We still have a monster clutch in the Dale truck. We've got one in the Crown Vic. Cooper's got one in the V1. Jeremy's got one in the S10. Jeremy's got one in the Caprice. I mean, we're a monster
C7.
clutch. The C7. I mean, we've been rocking monster clutch. Still gonna, definitely still using them. But the race program, we're switching over to what's called a Black Magic clutch. So pumped about this. This thing cost about the same as one of our traditional clutches, but this thing's pretty gnarly. And the craziest thing is it's a single disc. We're going from a triple disc to a single disc, which scares me, but the guys behind the build of this clutch are very confident in its ability to hold the power. And I know this has been a ton of talking for one of our videos so far, but let me just add one more point. The way I got in touch with these guys was through the Minion, which is one of the cars that we compete with. It's a twin turbo yellow Mustang, and they introduced me to the Black Magic guys at FL2K, and the Minion has been 760s, and it's got the same clutch that's in this box in his car. So I mean, it works. It's pretty cool to see how they work, and we're excited to try out this program. So whew, that was a mouthful, but
now open it up. Let's get to the goods.
all right. Oh,
Oh man.
Watch yourself.
Oh, I'm not supposed to use razor blades around here anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I thought one with a handle would be more safe for you to use, but certainly not after you're on fast.
All right,
Nothing's
here we
safe.
go.
More tape.
One more.
They know you.
You know me. Ooh, dude! Wow, look at this.
Ooh, all the weights.
Is this all our counterweights?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you say counterweights and you think you're going to actually deal with weights, but these clutches, it's all bolts, washers, and nuts. that-
Yeah, the weight
whole
comes
weight.
from the bolts, washers, and nuts that you change out on the levers of the clutch. So here's our toolbox that they supplied for us. We're gonna be swapping, using washers and whatever we need to do to add and remove counterweight from the clutch to change its engagement speed, to slow it down or speed it up, make the slip longer or shorter. So that's pretty cool.
An old tackle box.
Here's the new logo we're dealing with, the Black Magic clutches. Got some t-shirts for us. Hooked it up.
All
Dude,
3
this
eggs.
thing looks pretty gnarly. Damn. She's bad, dude. Oh yeah, so they did stick some weights on there for us too, which is pretty
A
cool.
little guesstimation.
So I'll grab it out. Let's flip this over. Flip the box over and I'll put it on top. All right, so here we go. We got our flywheel, obviously. We got a pretty big single disc in there. Look at that disc.
Yeah, that thing is pretty
Thing's
beefy.
pretty large. And then these guys, so the clutch disengages by the clutch slave and the car pushing these down. The weird thing is, just driving around, the car is going to be sounding like the clutch is slipping. Because low RPM, if I just wrap the throttle, the clutch will slip. Because the higher the RPM, the more strength the clutch has behind it, because these weights will be swinging at a much higher speed. But I'm trying to explain it to the best of my ability. So, you'll
They use
see,
like centrifugal force.
yeah, they use
pushing
centrifugal
out.
force, and that centrifugal force pushes down on these weights or swings them out. And I think that is what pushes against the disc and adds to that counterweight pressure. So then there's these guys here up on the top, and you tighten and loosen these, and that's your static pressure. So that's how much pressure is on the disc when you're just driving around the pits. And then these come into play when you're up real high in the RPM, like making a pass. So you'll hear the car go off the starting line. You'll probably hear it slip again, a little bit going into second gear. But once we're up in those real high RPMs and we keep the RPM real high through a shift, you're not gonna hear it slip at all, because these will be spinning so fast. And we are gonna have to cut a hole in the bell housing so that when the clutch is in the car, we can change these weights out and make adjustments on these. And that is probably going to take some very fine tuning. Now the good news is we'll have the builders of these clutches from Black Magic at World Cup. They're gonna be running with a few guys who will have their clutches on their cars. So we're hoping to be able to fine tune it with them there. We are gonna run the car at Bradenton Motorsports Park before we get to World Cup and try and see if we can get it sort of dialed in. But shoot, man, it's gonna be a big change up for Leroy right before World Cup like this. But if anyone can handle it, we can.
It looks nice.
I mean, it looks nice, but we got to get it in the car. I guess the next thing we can do is just start pulling Leroy's drivetrain apart, sticking this thing in there. I'm excited, dude. We haven't changed Leroy in over a year. I mean, last World Cup, we were on the identical setup. Was anything different?
No.
Literally nothing was different. So it's time to change things up. We realized that we've been doing the same thing for too long, and we're going to make it happen for you guys. So hopefully this gets us into those mid sevens, bottom sevens maybe.
Get that 60 foot down.
That 60 foot, that's where we need it. So hang tight, guys. We're gonna get the car up, start taking it apart, and we'll get back with you in a minute. Woo! Easy enough, dude. Hell yeah, guys. Back up the torque tube and we're at the clutch. All right, well, there's Old Faithful. All we owe this thing is a thank you. That thing has been a freaking great clutch. We'll just jump into a different style of racing here and gotta pull it out. We got this thing ready to go back in. There she is, flywheel, last piece of the pie. We're gonna set that down, put our clutch back together. We're definitely keeping this around because I might use it for, you know, who knows what. All right, guys, well, we made it this far, and before we put the clutch in, we gotta get a new pilot bearing, so we're a little bit delayed. No big deal. We are gonna pick up tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It's the day before we leave for World Cup. Did a little video jump on you. James and I just got the new Black Magic clutch in. You can see he's tightening down the torque tube.
It's in there.
It's in there. Look at that. Got our hole right there to change out our counterweights. We've also been doing some weight reduction up here. Looks a little naked up here, James.
Yeah, Leroy went on a diet.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of Leroy stuff over there. We're gonna maybe try and put his shroud back on because it looks really goofy without that shroud, but we are ditching the big radiator. We're going to a small one. Got a lot of stuff looking really good, so we gotta knock this thing out and get a bunch of stuff done today, like add a speed sensor to the rear diff. We've never had that. We've always had GPS speed, that's it. Just gotta get stuff ready. You know, we got a lot of stuff to do. We gotta hope that it all goes smoothly, but we're getting it done. We just got a good start on it this morning. Car's going back together pretty quick. We'll be ripping, shortly ripping into the trailer, I guess. Dude, what the hell's going on up here?
I heard that you need a Honda parts to go fast at World Cup,
Yeah.
so I got you some Honda
We
parts.
saw those Hondas running 7s. So we said, we're getting Honda parts. So we got this little radiator here. It's gonna drop us significantly in the weight category. Everything looks pretty good though. We got everything really clean. We just gotta put oil in it, get it restarted, be ready to rip. So give us a little bit, guys. We're gonna start it up and drive it for the first time. It's gonna be weird. Slipping clutch. What the heck? Ladies and gents, we are ready to rip. I gotta take the funnel out, put the blow by hose back on, but that's it. Then we're ready to go. Cooper, are you ready to go?
I'm ready. Put some fuel in her.
We got fuel, we're good.
That's all we needed, right? Maybe
This clutch is gonna be weird, dude. Yeah, we're gonna put some water in it. This clutch is gonna be weird, man.
It's
gonna be weird.
Down a few
Discs.
plates.
I'm one
Yeah.
disc now, dude. What the
Yeah.
heck? This is crazy. So,
Can't be afraid to just dump it now.
I know, now I can just dump the clutch. So we put the base pressure in the clutch. It's got a base pressure, which you use by turning those little circles. And it's got counterweights, which you use via nut and bolt, which they are already set on there. So we're just gonna try and move the car. It should drive like normal. We gotta make sure the clutch is disengaging correctly and all that, and then put it in the trailer and go to the track. All right, folks, as you can see, it is dark outside. We have just wrapped up Leroy. We fired it up one time, but I didn't even get in the car to test clutch or anything. So we're gonna do that right now. We just fired it over to suck some oil up because we put some fresh oil in it. Whew. I'm excited. We just got everything wired up. We got a new clutch switch that works a lot different than the old one. It actually presses a button at the top of the pedal travel now. So the two-step stays on all the way until the clutch is fully engaged in its resting position. So we saw the slave was moving, everything looked good underneath. I mean, really all we gotta do is see if it moves under its own power and disengages fully, and if that works, we gotta bleed the brakes, throw it in the trailer, and we're going home. So
I'm feeling the tunnel a lot more.
oh, it works.
So what? The clutch works like normal, and it only slips until it gets to the RPM or power level of which the base pressure is set at. Is that how that works?
No, so it'll actually slip. It'll slip at idle more than any plate. It'll slip at low RPM more than anything. So if I'm driving through the pits and I go from idle and just mat the throttle and go,
Because
once
it
it gets
have the
yeah, but once it gets that centrifugal force on the counterweights, then it starts to get its grip. So I could tell that my positive stop isn't far enough, so the pedal was pushing in too far and it didn't like that. So I gotta adjust that real quick. It's unbelievable how light the pedal is now. I mean, it's like, I could probably push it with my finger. And it was before maybe 130, 140 pounds. I mean, you had to like crank on it. So I gotta adjust that real quick. We'll start it back up again and pull it outside, but freaking works, dude. Hell yeah, guys. So give me 1 minute.
You know what we should do too, just to end off the video as a tease for tomorrow?
What?
Put the two-step to 5,000.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
Black Magic wants us to launch at 5,000 RPM.
should give
Never
it a
done that
tease.
before.
Since it's dark out, we should give it a little tease.
Yeah, we
outside.
normally launch like
5,000.
3,900, so we're 1,100 RPM higher now. It's gonna be.
It's gonna sound rowdy.
All right.
It's weird hearing all this talk about like wanting the clutch to slip.
Slip, clutch, slip. No one
Like,
says that.
I know, nobody. That's not something we had in our vocabulary before.
This clutch
That we
better
wanted the
slip
car,
or else.
the clutch to slip. It's a new sensation.
Clutch pedal's so loose, so weird.
Loosey goosey. Kirk. Yeah, it does. Gosh, you could fit a freaking Kirky in there, that hole. So much room. Yeah, get on in there, James. Get caught on the belt, your shoelace.
In case I gotta fix something while going to the pits, I just sit there.
Shoelace caught on the belt. Still down one light, yeah.
The one light that doesn't work is the one we put the sticker on.
Yep, planning.
I noticed that at FL2K. I was like, wasn't that bad at all.
Oh my gosh, guys.
That wasn't as bad as you were thinking.
Yeah, that was.
No, it wasn't slipping at all. That was just me with my foot. That is crazy how weird it is. I mean, dude, that clutch pedal is lighter than a 91 Honda Civic.
Just watching you move it around, it seems almost like it's like a stock clutch in the car.
Dude, it's so much lighter than stock. It's so weird because the weights aren't
they're not
engaged. You know, they're not spinning at an RPM that they even care about yet. Once they're spinning at 8,000 RPM, thinking about how much heavier a little weight becomes.
Yeah.
That is so crazy, dude. What a weird phenomenon.
I'm pumped to see this thing in action.
But I can't wait to
Really
see it leave at 5,000 RPM.
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Magic. We're really excited to be working with them and really excited to see how this all works out. Everyone go to bed tonight hoping Leroy runs some 7s tomorrow because we got a rental tomorrow morning. We're really excited. We think this is the next level, so get out there and try it, dude. That's all we can do. So everyone get some sleep. Good night. Thanks for watching. Do it for Dale. We'll freaking see you later.
Great opportunity for some finger. For some.
Oh God! Very odd not having to read like all the stuff up here. Look how much room we gained for merch, Coop.
Yep.
Unreal, dude.
It's amazing.
When you commit to going full race car.
Deed is done.
He was forced into commitment.
But
Happens.
the Red Demon.
Happens. Happens to men everywhere.
The Red Demon made me do it, Mom.
Sky Devin.
The Red Demon forced me into full race car mode, dude.